Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Your Number One Fan podcast. I'm your host, Kim Spencer, your number one fan. Episode topics will vary with the ultimate goal of providing the inspiration, encouragement, and tools for you to create your most authentic, happy life. I want this to be your weekly comfort podcast that also gives you a little kick in the butt to live your life to the fullest and not care what anybody says. Thank you for being here. Now let's get into the good stuff. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Your Number One Fan podcast. This is Kim, and today I have Allie Ninfo. Is that how you pronounce your last name? Ninfo? Yeah.
It is. It sounds a little too much like nymphomaniac. So whenever I give an email at places, they give me this look, I'm not a porn star, I swear.
I mean, it's a very unique last name, but I just wanted to make sure I was pronouncing it right. Yes, and Allie is an intuitive psychic medium, energy healer, and spiritual teacher. And I am so excited to have her on. I know that everybody listening is going to just be obsessed with you just as much as I am because your story is inspiring, but then what you teach is so, like, she has so much free content online just to learn. And then she has like things to offer to work one-on-one and in groups, I believe, like all of that. So yeah, there's so much to learn today. And I know those things that I just said that Allie does, some people are a little, hesitant to kind of lean into that stuff, but it's definitely worth listening to and kind of opening your mind to that because this podcast is all about trying to get in tune with yourself, finding your strengths and then taking advantage of that, not being afraid to change your trajectory in life and pivoting, all of that stuff I think we'll touch on. And so Allie, did you want to like introduce yourself and kind of tell your background? Because I just watched one of your videos again that talked about how you discovered that you have these types of gifts and it's so interesting. So take it away.
Well, thank you for that beautiful intro. So I'm Allie. I am intuitive. I'm an energy healer, but I also use things like neuroscience and neurolinguistic programming. And I kind of combine the two and help you basically rewire your brain, the cells in your body to essentially access your soul's greatest potential and really see that. So long story short, back when I was 5 years old, I started realizing that I would just be able to know and see things in people. And I thought it was normal. Like I thought everyone could. However, it wasn't. So when I was 5, I went downstairs to my mom and I was like, Mom, grandma has cancer. And my mom was like, no, she doesn't. And I was like, yeah, she does. And then 2 weeks later, they actually found out she did have cancer. And
Wow.
to me, I'm like, oh, doesn't everyone know that? You know, doesn't everyone hear that? And you're 5, you don't know what the answer is. I was just repeating back like the words I was hearing. So then the next experience I can really remember is when I was 12, I spoke to my grandfather like at his own funeral. And he just shared a story. He's my dad's dad. So he just shared a story with me about my dad growing up. And I told my dad, and my dad said, how did you know that? And I go, oh, well, grandpa just told me. And I'm like, duh, like, do you not hear him? And so from there, I started to realize like, oh, this is weird. This isn't a thing that everyone is doing. And I started to get really embarrassed about it, shut it off. And all through high school, I just became very sensitive to other people's energies. It turned me into like this massive people pleaser because I could just hear people's thoughts and feel what people needed. And so I would like kind of mesh and conform into that. But I didn't talk about this stuff because I was really embarrassed. I wanted to fit in, wanted to be cool. So I got really into dancing and went pro, moved to New York City, moved to LA for dance. And in LA, I'm like 6 months into dancing. I need my hair done. So I didn't have a car there. I was so broke in the beginning of living there. So, well, the first like 3 to 4 years of living there. And so I went down to the closest hair salon I could find and walk into. And to the front desk worker, I said, hey, can you put me with someone who does blondes? He goes, yeah, I know the perfect person to put you with. He puts me with this girl. I start word vomiting to her all of these experiences that happened to me that I've never told anybody. And I go, I'm so sorry. Like I have no idea why I'm telling you this. Like I'm really embarrassed. And she goes, oh, I know why you're telling me this. She's like, I have a perfect teacher that you have to go to. So I go with her to like this random guy's like spiritual class on a Sunday night. It's like sounds so sketchy and weird. I'm like, okay, I'll go, like whatever. And you know, you think it's like weird, but my gut, my intuition was like telling me you have to go. I go, and to this day, this man, his name's Alessandro, he's like my lifelong teacher and mentor. So he really helped me and a bunch of other people open up and really tap into your natural intuitive gifts, because we all have intuition. It's just, are we choosing to tap into it or not? And then even from there, you can get so good at it that you can hone it down to a science. Like you can get such accurate information. You just have to know how to ask the right questions, and you just have to know the language. It's just like learning another language. You just have to be able to translate and understand it. And you can get insanely specific things and understand why. And if you don't like a certain outcome, you can shift it and change your energy to get a different outcome. And so that's why I don't even like to really like psychics are great and they can tell you the future. However, the future is dependent on your current energy. So if you don't like a certain outcome, then all you have to do is change your energy. Or maybe they're reading the future of your highest self, your highest potential, but you're in your own limiting beliefs. You're stuck in these own stories that aren't the truth. And then you keep wondering why you're not getting that future thing, but you won't get it unless you shift your cells, your neural pathways, your internal world to make yourself in alignment for those things. So what I do is I look at what's going on with people right now, right? Like what is blocking them? What is stopping them? What are these stupid, crazy beliefs that they're having that aren't the truth, that are getting them certain things that they don't want to happen in life, whether it's body ailments, relationships, money things, career things, whatever it is that's annoying them or that they feel blocked in. I look at why that's happening, what they need to do to shift, and then what the outcome will be. So I really like to focus on like, what can we shift? How can we heal? What can we do? And that's what I use my intuition to channel. And then from there, I bring in like the neuroscience and the neurolinguistic programming techniques to help them reprogram their brain to get them in alignment with who their soul actually is and what their highest potential actually is. Kind of made that really long. However, long story short, I learned from this incredible mentor, trained with him. Like I was up his ass. Like I was up his ass 3-4 days a week, constantly for like 4 or 5 years. And now, you know, I see him every once in a while, but I have to give a lot of credit to him of helping me take something we all naturally have and really honing in on it and making it like not just a natural gift, but something that you actually have like studied and really mastered. So that's a little bit about the background of
Yeah.
what's happening here.
I that's so cool, and that just is something that I feel like everybody can reflect on. Like, you have no idea what's gonna come into your life. Like, we can assume we know, like, how we're gonna get this thing, but then that's so random. You happen to go to the hairdresser, you happen to have this girl, you happen to like, that is so crazy to me, and it's actually funny, like, I'll just give a little parallel here. My goal is to be like to get a certain amount of followers on TikTok. I want this podcast to do well. And I keep thinking like I can't think of how I'm going to get there because who knows. Of course I get the most random video going viral right now and I get a solid 100 followers. I'm like, "See, like you have no idea what will get you to a certain place." And yeah, and when you were talking about like the neuroscience of it all, that's interesting. And I hear from so many different people who are in this type of manifesting space, mindset space. And something I heard recently for the first time, and then I heard from you as well, is that you have to think of the negatives to something to help you like give it, like let it go. Like the other person I was listening to, I can't even remember who it was, but she said like when you're trying to manifest something, you should think about all the hard steps and the mundane steps to get there because then your mind will believe it more that like it's not all, rainbows and butterflies. And then you were talking about like a T chart of writing down, the things that you don't want. And then I'm thinking like my 100,000 followers that I'm trying to manifest. I'm like, well, will I know what to post when I get those 100,000 followers? Like, what if I have mean comments? Like, so that's like my mindset. So I guess for anybody listening, say that they want like, they're trying to manifest money and they maybe don't even know that they have limiting beliefs. Like, how would you tell somebody to start kind of using their mindset and that type of thing to help them manifest that, if that makes sense.
Yes. Oh my God. Such a good freaking question. So, backstory, I used to have to dig for quarters in my car to pay for gas. A year later, had a six-figure business. A year after that, multiple six figures, like really quick turnaround. And here's, if I would give two things, here's what I'm going to give. One, you've got to look at, okay, what we focus on, we get more of. And what we believe to be true is what we're going to get back from the world. We don't manifest what we want. We manifest how we're being. So if we are being in a state of lack or poor me, or I don't have enough of this, or I really want to do this, but I can't afford it, or lack, like anything that has to do with lack. Or if you're mad at people who are wealthy, or if you're mad at people who are making their own money, or if you see a girl and you're like, oh, she only has that stuff because that's her boyfriend's money or that's her dad's money. Or if you see a man and you think, oh, they're only rich because they're a man, or whatever things that you have running through your head, we've got to nip those in the butt right now, because one, it's not the ultimate truth. I always ask, did God, source, universe, whatever you use resonates with you, did they write in the sky, blank, your first name, can't have money because the man already has it, or because the woman already has it, or because someone else already has it? No, it's not the actual truth. And what happens is energy is never created or destroyed. Our perception goes off, and our perception is out of alignment. So I had to get myself feeling abundant when I had to dig for quarters in my car to pay for gas. And then the byproduct of feeling abundant is money. It's not money first, then we feel abundant. It's money is the byproduct of feeling abundant. So what I had to do to feel abundant when I had negative dollars and was looking for quarters to pay for gas was I had to go, okay, well, I'm staring at my phone. That's $1,000. I'm staring at my computer screen. That's fucking $1,500. I'm wearing, calculated up what I was wearing. I'm living in this apartment. I'm driving in this car, even if it was a Hyundai, but like, who cares? It was still, I'm driving in a $15,000 car, whatever it was. And I had to just, I found a penny on the street. Someone paid for my coffee today. I was able to buy myself coffee today. I have a home to live in. I have gas, and there's an abundance of grass outside. There's an abundance of air. We have an abundance of connection to anyone we want through these little phone box things we have, which is fucking nuts. So I got myself in this energy of like feeling abundant, and I was clocking it every single day. So I would notice it every single day. The more I started really getting this in my system in January 2020, March 2020 had like a $6,000. It went from like $500 in February that I made to $6,000 in March to June making $10K and never going back from there. And it was just this shift of like, holy fuck, I'm not without. And if we feel lack now, we're always going to get more lack. I work with multi-millionaires like you wouldn't believe. And they come to me and they feel lack. So it's not the money that makes you feel abundant. It's an energy, and they feel lack, and you know what happens? They get all these big crazy tax bills they weren't expecting. They get all this crazy shit out of nowhere that they now have to pay because they're literally just manifesting constantly being without, or having to or a lot of it leaving their energy because they're always feeling lack, so that's what they're getting back. But trust me, I've worked with multi-millionaires, and they feel immense amounts of lack. It has nothing to do with the money you're making, everything to do with what you're choosing to see around you. So that's number one. Number two is take it off the pedestal. So like that T chart you were just talking about, we put money on a pedestal, but anything we put on a pedestal, we're basically saying it's above us, and we immediately shit on ourselves, and we immediately minimize ourselves. So then we're saying, oh, you're on a pedestal, I'm over here, and this isn't attainable. So if we can take money off a pedestal, then it's equal, then it's here, and that means we can just step right into it. So if someone's like, oh my God, $1 million is so much money, it's on a pedestal. Or if, oh, I wish I really had that amount of money, would make me feel so good about myself, it's on a pedestal. And we never even want money. We want how it's going to make us feel, okay? We want the feelings it's going to bring us. So we don't want the actual paper money. We want to feel confident. We want to feel peaceful. We want to feel safe. We want to feel powerful. We want to feel a sense of security, whatever it is. Everyone's different. So all those things you can feel now and you have now. Where in your life can you feel confident right now? Where in your life, even if it's like for a micro moment, can you